or horror movies or anything?
I don't know. I mean, that way of thinking kinda faded away long ago, like, since
When you
you're out
had
but you
kids?
you are reminding me though to like, try to get the magic back, try to start dreaming of, like, those
Yeah,
new video games or whatever, you know?
the
'Cause now it's
magic
all
of greed, the magic of wanting things for
y
yourself. You gotta get
oh,
that
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah. It's different when you're a kid though. Like I remember, and I'm sure that you guys can relate to this. Like I distinctly remember my most excited Christmas memory was when I got a Sega Genesis. And
Same
like
here.
I remember getting it, and I remember I got Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which came with the system, and I got Street Fighter 2, and maybe I got another game, maybe like Mortal Kombat, but I remember like the excitement of getting that was the I probably I was a kid, like 8, 7, 8 years old, but I definitely remember there was like pure magic in that. And
Mm.
like I do wish that I could recapture that. But I also feel like
Yeah.
James now they say I don't have kids and neither does Nathan, but they say that you live vicariously through your children. So I assume that that's like
Yeah, you kinda do relive a lot of that 'cause then it reminds you of stuff like, "Oh, yeah, I remember when I used to, do that or say those kind of things," or, so yeah, it is very nostalgic. It reminds you of
Mm.
yourself, yeah, through them.
mhm.
Do your kids play video games?
Yeah, yeah, we play a lot of games together, especially on the
Is
weekends, that's what we do a lot. I
is
show
there
them a lot
anything
of the
that
old
they
ones.
like? Oh, do they like
Yeah.
old games?
Yeah, I do. I mean, usually, like, the older ones, um, my youngest child, she's better at the new games than I am because she understands
Mhm.
them more, they're her generation. But then,
Yep.
'cause remember we did a Minecraft video one time, and I'm like, "I don't know
Yep.
Minecraft, I don't know what this
By the
is,"
way,
but
Uh-huh.
that Minecraft video is still coming out. It's been, like, pushed
oh, I
back.
did.
I
Oh,
still haven't released that, and people have asked me about that. That will go up, and I'm glad you said that because now it's gonna force me to get it done.
okay,
But
You made
yeah,
that in didn't you make that like 3 years? That
I
was a
think we
while
made
ago
it
you made
1
that.
or 2
it's
years ago, and I got so
Mm.
bogged down with other things, but I still plan on releasing that. I was supposed to release it by the end of the year, but I haven't done that.
well,
Anyway, sorry.
according to our chat,
Continue.
it was, January 30th, 2024.
Oh, so it was
If you
almost
wanna know the
exactly a
exact
year
date.
ago.
Uh, almost 2 years ago, actually.
Oh, wait, I did the math
Come
wrong.
this
Yeah.
Ja yeah, yeah,
Oh,
come,
this January will be 2
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
If
hey, it's I'm just building up the anticipation.
If they're,
yeah,
this is maybe a video game related question. If your kids ever were naughty on Santa's naughty list,
mm.
would you ever make them play Sewer Shark or ET?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Do believe it or not, we played ET not too long ago. I
Wow.
Really?
explained to her the yeah, yeah, because she was just interested because she saw the ET cardboard cutouts in my room, like the episode we just released yesterday, and then I had to
Mhm.
tell her the story about the ET and the landfill and everything, and then I'm like, "Here, you know what? Check it out," and I put on the game and we played it. We tried to beat it, tried to get serious with it, but we were actually, kinda into it, so
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
I mean, it's probably more fun when depending on who you're playing the game with, when you're playing alone and you're frustrated, but when you're with your kid, I guess it's a whole different experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It does go to show that those older games, especially the NES era, they really were harder. They just made games, like, just insanely hard back then, and that
Mhm.
yeah, now I think the difficulty for me is just, like, just not being familiar with something. I mean, there's always a learning curve, but, uh, yeah, I think generally the games nowadays, they walk you through a little more, got all those
Yeah.
tutorials and auto-saving,
Well,
um
they say that for like the modern audience, what do they call it? Yellow paint. Like there's literally like yellow arrows like telling you where to go and
ah
what
Mhm.
to do.
Most of the
Every
time,
game
although
is easier now.
we're playing Metroid Prime 4, and we get stuck in it, like, every 5 minutes, so I guess this one's trying to bring it back maybe? Um,
Is
there's a
that on
few games out
Switch?
there now. That's a Switch game, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Switch 2,
I
yeah,
feel like all Nintendo games are just hard. I, as a kid, never wanted to play Nintendo
mhm,
because even like Mario was just harder than Sonic. And like I liked
mm,
Sonic because they just ran and jumped. It was
oh,
super
yeah,
easy. And for my like weak mind as a child, it was so much easier to do.
Hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like with
I'm not
Sonic,
good
I
at
would,
video games.
yeah, with Sonic, I feel like I would run into things more often if I'm not taking it
Mm,
slow, but the temptation is to go fast, just keep on going fast all the
yeah,
time.
I was better at that flow than I was at
Mm.
like pragmatically like moving through a platformer level.
Yeah,
The blast processing, that was my kind of thing. I
yeah,
was
blast.
that kind of a kid. Speed.
Well, we have
Yeah.
Well,
a before we begin, we do have a question from the chat from one of our biggest supporters, Ska B Gaming. Ska has a question for James, which I think James would probably like to answer. Uh, Ska would like to know what your guitar gear breakdown is. I think
Oh,
he's spying your
yeah,
guitar
yeah.
equipment behind you.
Well, let's see. So I got 2 of those, Eddie Van Halen 5150 amps, and we redid the EVH to say Rex Viper, which was fun.
Uh-huh.
oh,
Um,
nice.
uh, a few different guitars. Most of them are Gibsons,
New
but
tip from
I have
Sideful.
I have they're all different purposes. Like one is a 7 string. I have an 8 string actually. I have one with a sustainer pickup, which is kind of cool. I haven't played with it enough yet, but it basically like sustains a note, and then you can do all kinds of, weird stuff with it. I
Nice.
have an Evertune one where it's basically like apparently it never goes out of tune, um, which is a little tricky when you want to bend a string. So you have to have it
Mhm.
sort of almost tuned where it's gonna go out of tune. I don't know. There's so much crazy stuff in here that it would take forever to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Well,
If you guys didn't know, James is in a band called Rex Viper. I've been
Oh,
seeing a
thank
lot
you.
of the clips on Instagram. Yeah, you guys are great. You
Oh,
play
nice.
conventions and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we
Nice.
did,
You have any
we
shows coming up?
um, it I don't know for sure. I don't know if I could confirm any
Mm,
yet. But last year we did we played in Arizona at Game On Expo. We played at MagFest and we played at Too Many Games in Oaks,
very cool.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
mhm.
I love Too Many Games. That's one of my favorite video game
Yeah,
Yeah.
conventions.
it's a fun one. I will say too many games. I didn't know that area like going there was a unique experience. I didn't realize that like it's so weird being in like the city and then the area that the convention's in is so quiet. It's like
Mhm.
a very big
Yeah, it's like
juxtaposition.
deeper into
Yeah, like it's called
Pennsylvania.
the Philadelphia Expo Center, I think, but it's not in
Uh-huh.
Philadelphia at all. It's
Nope.
Right.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
another town. It's like pretty far outside
It's
of
like
it, but
45 minutes away, I think,
yeah,
or
pretty
So
fun
something
much.
like
convention
that.
though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then Too Many Games, not Too Many Games, what's the one in Florida? Free Play Florida. Remember that one? You went to
Yeah,
that
that was
one year.
fun. Yeah.
That is possibly my number one favorite because that place lets me, as Keith Abacary, do whatever I want. They made a
Yeah, yeah, I
driving Neo
remember.
Geo arcade cabinet for me to drive around the place and just
Oh, yeah.
there. Most conventions are like trying to get me to stop climbing things. This one encourages it. So I really like Free Play Florida.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
Anyway,
Yeah, I remember, like, the
should we get
dance
into some
party
of
and
the
everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right, the DJ thing, you were there. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah.
that. That's right, when I DJ'd as dad. That was the first time I did a dad DJ show. James was
Oh,
there
yeah.
dancing
I was
around.
the
That was
yeah,
cool.
I
Yeah.
was there too. That was a good it was a good show.
Oh, we did
Yeah,
that,
that
like,
was fun.
arcade tournament or something too? Like, I forget how it worked, but we were, like, playing games together or something.
Was that was it
Oh
like as like a
yeah.
little like, was that a
I think
panel
that
type thing of
I think
us
you
playing
guys did a
games?
panel and you like played I think you played some games against each other. It was like a thing, right?
Yeah, do you remember what we
I don't even
played?
remember. I do so much stuff when I'm
Yeah, I
there.
know,
I remember doing the ice bucket thing where the chill screen I used to call it, where we sit in these ice buckets and you have to beat a level. And I remember Billy Mitchell was there, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
who's the referee? I'm spacing on his
Oh, yeah, I
name.
tasted,
Oh,
his
Walter
hot
Day.
sauce,
Walter Day.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I drank the hot sauce with
Anyway.
Billy Mitchell, um,
Oh, that's right.
'cause
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
a
And now
video
you have your own
recently.
hot sauce, right?
Yeah, yeah, now I have my own hot sauce, yeah, yeah.
Very
Oh, I
cool.
gotta get.
Y
We've done. I in the we Nathan and I usually stream on our side stuff like video game things. We stream on Twitch. We've done many insane hot sauce challenges. Is this like an act? Is this a tasty hot sauce or like one of the insane ones? We've done like all those like one chip challenges and stuff.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah. We
this is
got
like a tasty hot sauce, not a debilitating one.
we got a variety actually. So it's, 3 hot sauces. The Angry Video Game sauce is like, comes in the Rolling Rock looking bottle, and that one's, Serrano, and it's very tasty. Then the next one is the, habanero pumpkin. It's the Monster Madness themed one, and that one's a little more spicy. I think it's 4 out of 5 or
Mm.
something like that. No, yeah, I think so. Then the other one is like 27 out of 10 or something. That's the Dumpin' Buffalo. Um, we're gonna call it, buffalo diarrhea or something,
Uh,
but, we couldn't say that on the label, so we called it Dumpin' Buffalo, and, that
uh,
one's the dare. That's the one where it's a dare,
okay.
basically, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try this. We've done
We gotta try that, Tom.
Yeah.
we've literally Nathan will have to send you the clip or something at some point. Nathan, we did one time, Nathan and I, and I was very I spent a lot of time in the bathroom after. Nathan ended his stream. He was
Mm,
so
Oh
destroyed.
yeah, I thought I was gonna go to
wow.
the hospital. It was really bad. I
Oh,
I
It
man.
was
I don't do spicy stuff anymore.
this
I
was
can't
the
handle
end.
it.
This was like Nathan was like lost it. It was like he's like, I'm
Mhm.
dying. I have to go. And
Oh,
Oh.
no.
it was very bad.
Do you like
Man.
spicy stuff, James? Or
Yeah, I
hot stuff?
do. Yeah.
Okay. Oh
Mhm.
boy. Oh.
I mean, I don't know
You
what
should
my
try Satan's toe sometime, the lollipop. It's
Satan's
insane.
toe?
It's
It's
so
the
there's
like the
so
hottest lollipop in the world. It's
Really?
psychotic.
Huh.
there's so many bad it's the yeah, it's called the Toe of Satan challenge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
I think it's a 9 million Scoville,
Oh, geez.
it's infused with Carolina Reaper
Okay.
juice or whatever. But the challenge is you have to suck on the pop for 10 minutes without
Hmm.
any sort of like water or anything.
Is it
Yeah.
And
hot right
it's bad.
away, or do you have to, like, suck it down to get to
No,
the
it's
sauce?
bad. It's just bad all the way
It's
Right
bad
around.
like
off
the
the
But
bat?
whole
Okay.
time.
it's not the worst one though. I think the worst one, we did this other one called the Solar Flare Challenge, which is
Hmm,
it's another one of these like they have tons of these like challenge type things now, the spicy stuff. And basically it starts off with like regular spice, but then it works all and you take a couple of those seeds and you keep going up until you
hmm.
do all of them. But it gets up to the I think it's like Maruga scorpion peppers and Carolina Reapers at the end. And I believe that was one of the ones that took Nathan out. It was very,
Mm.
very, very bad.
Oh, man.
Well, I think we should jump to the conspiracy stuff because James only has a little bit of
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Um, do we want to run down a list and see quiz James on things, or do we want to? How about we start with the horror movies
I think we should start with
and
the horror
then
movies. Yeah. So
yeah.
did you the quiz or we're just
Well, I
asking
think
about?
that's at the end. That's what Jamie wants to do.
Okay.
The questions. I wanted to ask James. Here's a question for you. You know Stanley Kubrick, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Would you say you're a fan?
Oh, definitely.
Are you a fan of the film he did titled The Moon Landing?
Okay, okay, th now we're getting into
Have, have,
Oh.
conspiracy, alright, okay.
You're getting right
have you
into this,
heard
huh?
Alright.
have you heard the conspiracy that
Yes,
he filmed the moon landing? Okay, and how do you
yes.
feel about this conspiracy?
Well, they say in that Shining documentary that, well, there's the scene where, the kid, uh, Danny is walking into the forbidden room in the hotel, and he's wearing a NASA shirt, and apparently the room number was the amount of miles to the moon, which I don't know if that was correct
Oh,
actually, because the amount changes, but
uh-huh.
um, but basically it was like all these things were his subtle hints pointing to that he filmed the moon landing.
I never heard
Yeah.
that. That's actually interesting.
It's a
Yeah,
documentary. I think the documentary's on Netflix, right? It's called Room 237, but
that's it.
uh
Yeah.
yeah, but like I have seen this documentary. I saw it in a theater in when I was living in LA with you, Nathan. It was playing
Oh,
it somewhere, the ArcLight or something. But
hmm.
yeah, that's part of it is that like it's like a hidden in plain sight type thing is
Uh-huh,
like the
uh-huh.
Yeah.
theory and like Danny was wearing There's other things that
NASA.
connect it
Yeah.
in that,
Mm.
but he's wearing the NASA, but I think it's the he's wearing an Apollo 11,
Oh,
which
that's
was
it.
the
Yeah.
moon landing. He's
Yeah.
wearing an Apollo 11
Uh,
sweater, and it's a NASA thing. And then he goes to room 237, which the movie theorizes, or the documentary theorizes, that it was 237,000 miles from the Earth to the moon. And that number does, like,
hmm
depending on what source you go from. There are some sources
Yeah.
that say
Hang
that,
on.
but they were like, look, that's Kubrick. He's hiding it right
Oh,
in plain
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah.
oh, well, guess what? 230 oh, this is what Google's telling me, 238,900 million miles to the moon, but that does fluctuate.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah. Depending
what'd you
on
say it was,
orbit and
room
stuff.
237? I mean, that's pretty damn close,
It is very close.
especially in 1981, like, whenever like, what would have been then? So,
I think
Yeah.
part of it too, the part of the other part, the one of the other parts of the theory is that in the book, the Stephen King book, the room number is different than
hmm
oh,
it is
So
in the
he
yeah,
movie. So
changed it to then nod
Kubrick,
to look at. Yeah.
right? That's like another part of that room theory. Is that
Interesting. Because
mm,
why not just
he
leave it?
right? But yeah,
yeah,
why not just leave it?
Yeah.
But it is
Well,
interesting.
well, James, how do you feel about the moon landing being fake? Do you believe in that? Do you think there's some merit to it, or do you think that we definitely landed on the moon?
I think it was real. I think the landing was real.
Okay.
But sometimes you hear,
I
yeah,
yeah, you hear some compelling things sometimes. I
sometimes,
agree. I
yeah,
think it
yeah,
was real, but then I'm like,
yeah,
wait a second, that is kind of weird, that footage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I do a
Do
video
you
of I presented you information about the moon landing possibly being false. I presented you information for like 2 hours, and I have you on tape saying, "Well, I'm convinced."
Oh, yeah.
Like you were
yeah.
sold at the end of it.
I was just trying to get that. I was trying to get the torture over with. I was just trying to move on,
Yeah, oh,
free
no,
myself.
no, 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 no. I think you became a true believer at the end of it.
J-
I mean, it's like sometimes,
James,
yeah, you'll hear like a argument against it, and you're like, "Oh, okay," maybe because, like, sometimes you'll look
yeah.
at some of the footage and you're like, "Yeah, that does look kinda fake. What's going on there?" You know?
hmm The way they move, it does look at kind of like they're on wires. The momentum, like sometimes they just get lifted up. I like, as a person who does a lot of physical stuff, and I know how the body moves and
Mm,
momentum and weight shifting. There are times where like it does look weird, but
mhm,
I've recently re-looked at it again, and I was able to give it. It did look like it wasn't fake
mm.
ultimately. But at first glance, for sure, you'll be like, "Wait, that's strange." She just gets like yanked right up from like it was like there'd be wires or something. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think I got over the conspiracies. Are there any other
Yeah.
conspiracies that you have gone down the rabbit hole of in your life?
Oh, man. It's a good question.
Like,
Man, I wish I
do
prepared
you
some before.
believe
Uh,
Sasquatch maybe is real? Have you heard
oh,
of
okay.
flat
If
Earth?
oh, yeah, yeah, okay, Atlantis, I'm big on Atlantis,
Oh, are you?
yeah, yeah. Been a long time
So
since
you think Atlantis existed
um, I
or
think
hope
so.
maybe?
I'm leaning towards yes, because in Plato's writings, it's so specific.
Mhm.
It's just like, why would he put down all that detail if he was just telling some imaginary story? Um,
hmm
but then again, I don't know how legit his sources were. Um, since I mean, I forget the details. He heard it from his grandfather, who heard it from somebody else. Uh,
Right.
but but if you like actually compare the text, like if you really study it, and you're like, okay, well, this clearly means it's over here. Like it says, like outside the Mediterranean. Even though the funny thing, everybody's always looking for it in the Mediterranean, but he specifically says like outside Pillars of Hercules, the Straits of Gibraltar, and you go outside, and then he gives more and more information. And there was a book I read that was really compelling. That it had me up to a certain point, but basically it
Mm,
um, says that it was a peninsula and not an island,
Mhm.
and describes it in enough detail where like, oh, there was these translation errors where island could mean peninsula. So it's a peninsula off of Portugal, and that sank. And he is convinced that it is the modern day city of Silves. But I don't think that's really possible, because I feel like the writing suggests that it sunk and it's gone.
yeah, that's
But
what I've always heard.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I feel like there's something that could be discovered there. Just people aren't looking for it in the right place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's cool.
Atlantis is a good one, and I think
We
this
should
is
look into
just
that, Tom. We don't really talk about Atlantis very
we
often.
should. I
Yeah.
actually talked about this on stream recently, and I think this ties into it. Somebody was in my chat, brought up just the fact that we only have like X amount of recorded history, and like
Mhm.
only an even smaller portion of that is through film or photography. So I think something like Atlantis, like I mean, how many thousands of years ago was that?
Nine
So I
nine
do
thousand.
9,000 years ago, right. So it's like
Yeah.
we're going back 9,000 years, and to have somebody say, "No, that definitely didn't exist." But then there's so many like, there's geographical shifts. There's like, it could have sank. It could have
Yeah.
been an incorrect translation. It could have been like all this other
Mhm.
stuff. So I do think that I'm pretty open to something like Atlantis, uh, or even like you look at some of when they describe like these old civilizations as having advanced technology. It's like if you
Mhm.
go back and look at
Like the
like ancient
pyramids, what they're
well, you look
originally
at the
used for.
pyramids and it's like, how did they build it? Or you look at how much more advanced ancient Rome was to like medieval England. And it's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
well, it's like these societies were like way more advanced at a time at a previous time. So I'm definitely open to Atlantis being this like sophisticated civilization that was possibly lost. I think it's a fairly credible theory
Yeah.
that that existed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Here's a
I
little theory, maybe. Like, maybe people, like, the approach to building things is so much different now. We're like, even if you just look at the past 40 years, I mean, we're all about that age, I guess. But
Mhm.
like movies in the 80s, like you look at the effects and, there's so much practical effects and there's so much skilled work into these animatronics and everything. And then it kind of peaked and then everything became computer aided. And sure, you see some practical effects still here and there, but like the majority is done a different way. It's computers, but you think you see that kind of shift happen. So maybe humanity is just like was just a lot more skilled back then. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, they
Yeah.
say there's like been different iterations of human beings. I don't know what this phrase means. I always forget, but the younger dryas is something you hear a lot when they talk about like other versions of humans. That then we get wiped out, and then they were reborn, and some of us survive, like in the woods, and then that is what
Mm,
repopulates. So I've heard that there's been many, I guess you could say generations of human beings, and one of them is what they say originally created the pyramids, and now they're just being used as storage, basically, but the Egyptians didn't build them. It was this other race of humans, and they were for
mm,
other things. And then there's like there is a lot of land shifting that they talk about, like the Amazon rainforest wasn't there before. It was another thing. Like the Earth has gone through so many metamorphoses that yeah, that could explain a lot of you know
mm,
the Atlantis and why it's not there anymore.
hmm.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't have the information. I just hear people saying these things, and I go, "Yeah, that sounds good. All right,
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
cool."
You
Put
can
on
hear
your
so many
conspiracy
conflicting,
podcast and go, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
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 you hear like conflicting theories. You're like, and you're like, okay, yeah, that sounds compelling, but you can't. They can't all be true. But
yeah.
like I even heard like there was an Atlantis theory in Bolivia, and it might seem like, well, how the hell could it be all the way out there? But the argument is really um, compelling. They match up like landforms there and everything, and mention the distance because Plato actually does map it out like in distance and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, you could hear like one theory, and for that minute you believe that one, and then you hear something else, and you change your mind. You know, so it
Well,
Yeah,
can happen.
that's the plight of the true conspiracy theorist. You must
Yeah.
believe them all.
yeah.
I did
Here,
watch that
so
Flat Earth documentary though. Um,
oh, the one where the guys proved that the Earth is actually round when they were trying to prove it was flat when they
yeah, I
did
know
that
because
laser experiment?
yeah, the Flat Earth argument is very weak. But
Oh yeah, like that's one that even Nathan and I have done. We've
yeah,
talked about flat Earth. That's one that I mean, it's very clear. I forget the Mark Sargent, I believe, is the guy who's like currently like running the whole operation. But it's very clear that like he's writing books and they're holding conventions. And I think that our takeaway was it's similar to like the retro video game crowd. It's like these people that feel they need a place to belong. And like these
Mm,
conventions and these like talks that they all have, it's like they all pay to go. They go to something that's like a too many games. And it's just talking about conspiracies, like
it's just a
specifically flat
club
earth.
of
It's
like-minded
just
people.
it's just a club of like-minded people. And I think it's
Mm,
somebody like Mark Sargent, who's the guy who's running it, is obviously he's profiting off of it. And in that little kingdom, he gets to be like the king of that little kingdom.
yeah.
And he gets to be like a little bit of like a mini celebrity, but it parallels the retro game conventions in a lot of. I think that's what we talked about on the show, is that there's a lot of parallels to like that scene,
Mhm.
in that it's just like it's a group, it's a club. They go to these conventions a couple times a year. They sell their books, they sell their t-shirts, they do their talks, they have speakers, they have panels. And I'm like, this is just it's it's very interesting to look at that. But yeah, flat earth is like it's been so easily disproven, but I think it's just these people like they're larping. So they're just like a lot
Yeah.
of these people are just role playing and they're just getting into it. I think that they're playing a character. Um but yeah, I think that that's definitely one of the weaker ones for sure.
It's getting close to James having to leave, so I'm gonna ask him some quick questions
Yeah.
Okay.
here. All right, James. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions about the truth, and you
The
give me your
truth.
answer.
Okay.
Yes. We'll start off with: is the Earth round or flat?
Well, round.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Noted.
He's a
Uh,
glober.
is the is the Earth hollow or solid?
um, solid.
All right. Noted.
Mhm.
Did aliens land, and does the government have alien bodies and UFOs at Area 51?
Not yet.
No, you don't think aliens are here
Well,
yet?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Wow.
I haven't seen anything to make me say, "Oh, definitely." So I'm just gonna
Okay.
lean on, not sure. So, no.
Noted.
Yeah.
All right. Is Sasquatch real?
At least Sasquatch might have been real before. Yeah, I'm gonna say a yes. So,
Oh, all
yeah.
right, all right. I like it. Okay.
Big
And
Bigfoot believer.
Yeah, yeah.
our last question, are ghosts real?
I don't know. I mean, I think
Ooh, that's a maybe.
a lot of people believe. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes because I know a lot of people who
Yes.
believe in them. Yeah.
I believe in them. I'm one of those people. I'm glad. Thank you. Welcome to
I
the
w-
club. Now
Ok
we can have
I
our
would love
own
to have a
flat earth
I w-
ghost club.
I would love to have a real ghost experience. I want to believe in them, but I've never had like, and I feel like I've been in, and I think we've talked about this, and maybe James has had this experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily believe in ghosts or I want to believe in ghosts, but I do think that certain places leave like a stain. Like I think that like
Mhm.
emotional impact on like an
Yeah.
area. I've never seen a ghost, but I something I brought up on the show previously is that in the area, Nathan and I are from the same area. And my friends and I would sometimes go into like abandoned places, and one place was this abandoned slaughterhouse, and it felt so dark in there. And I'm like, there was so much like
But
pain
that can
here.
also be your knowledge that things were murdered in here, and that
Yeah,
preconceived notion and information then just affects how you feel.
it
Possibly,
could
Yeah.
be a bias, yeah,
could
for
be.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But it's
definitely
just like,
put a lot of
Um.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
What
I
was that,
put in a lot of
James?
thought. Yeah, yeah, that was something I actually put a lot of thought into recently. Even in, I wrote a book called Gnome Cave that came out recently, and a lot of those
Mhm.
thoughts are in there where I feel like each place leaves an impression of what happened there before.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Physical spaces can, I think, hold emotion. I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Another question for you, James. Tell me your three top horror films.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, let's see. Top 3 horror films as of right now on this day.
Hmm.
Well, okay,
Hmm.
I'd say Gremlins is up there, but it's more of
Okay.
a
You know they're
comedy
making a new
horror.
one.
I heard, yeah, I mean, for decades now, there's been, like, rumors, but yeah, wow, it seems like it's real. Um,
It seems finally happening. So Gremlins,
yeah,
that number one, or just that one
well,
of the three?
I would it might be number 1, yeah, because then also
Wow.
Jaws is
Hmm.
very big for me, and then Night of the Living Dead, um, the original.
I was gonna
So,
60s
say,
one.
I was gonna say 60s or 90, the
oh,
original.
yeah. Yeah, no, I like the I like them both. They're both really good, but the
Yeah.
'60s one just has that, like, lightning in a jar feel. It's just so weird. It's black and white. It's filmed independently. Um, it's black and white, but it takes place much later than you would think. So it kind of feels like a modern horror film, but it's also feels like a classic old school horror film. So it's really in between. That's what's kind of
Mhm.
cool, just like a weird transitionary period. The
Mhm.
MPAA rating system came out that same year. So when you can say
That's
like
cool.
R-rated horror films didn't happen till after. So
Yeah. Yeah, pivotal movie. That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good movie. Nice.
I
yeah.
have a
Tom,
I have a film related question for James actually.
Mhm.
I'm curious to get your thoughts on this as a filmmaker. Um Recently there's been a lot of YouTubers getting into the horror movie space. A two-part question. One, would you ever make a horror movie? I know that you made the AVGN movie a few years
Oh,
back. Would you ever make your own horror movie? And then B, how do you, or I guess two, did I say A or B? I'll say B. B, B, how do you feel about all these YouTubers entering the film space? I mean, there was Raka Raka, Chris Stuckman. I think it's awesome that all these
yeah.
YouTubers are making their own stuff,
Oh,
and I'm curious to
absolutely.
get your
Sounds
take on it.
awesome. Yeah, sounds awesome to me. Um, and yeah, I mean, aside from horror shorts that I've already made, I do intend to make a horror feature sometime. It's more
Nice.
about, well, which one should be feature length if I'm going to go that route. But I wrote one. I got a feature written that I'm thinking about. Uh, I have 2 of them actually now that but I it was gonna be Gnome Cave, but I decided that one's better as a book for now, and then I
Mm,
wrote a completely different one, and that one is sorta just like it's so new right now that I'm sorta just,
mm.
assessing it as to like, "Oh, is this something I could shoot? Let's start thinking logistically about this. This might be possible."
I remember when I was over there shooting the Christmas episode with you, and you were
Yeah.
telling me about something you wrote that would took place on like a amusement park. Did that become Gnome Cave?
Yeah, that's the book. Yeah, I just,
Okay.
released it, last, October, I think, or September, October.
Oh, nice.
Um,
congratulations. Yeah,
Everyone
like,
should
oh,
check out
thanks.
Gnome Cave.
Yeah, it's a short book. You could read it in the same amount of time you watch a film. So, it's meant
That's
to,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's
Nice.
basically like that. It has a lot of those same kind of ideas that you're talking about, how like places leave an impression on future events. Um,
Mm,
Nothing conclusive, but just kind of like these are all like theories that kind of come together in the book.
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
D- Jamie, should we do that little quiz you wanted to do?
Wiz.
I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys can keep talking. The quiz was more of backup in case you guys ran out of things to say. So
Okay.
that's what it was
I
Well,
mostly.
feel like
So it's
we
up to
could
you
talk
guys.
for hours. I mean, we
Yeah,
could keep on.
exactly.
Yeah,
It
we
was
could
Because you
keep
literally
going.
just
mentioned
backup in case. You guys can keep
because you
talking.
mentioned, Bigfoot, and I was like, "Oh, man, I should tell you guys, I used to be really big on the Loch Ness Monster. That was, like, my
Uh
Oh, you
huh.
favorite.
were.
Yeah. Um,
Do you think Loch Ness is real?
you know what? Like, as a kid, I was a firm believer in it, and I felt like all the evidence that existed was like everything's true. The concept of a hoax didn't really resonate with me then. Like, I just assumed everything is real. But as I grew up, I just became more like, it's probably not real. But now that you're asking, I'm kind of thinking like maybe it was real. Maybe it was at one point, and now it's extinct. Like,
Yeah, it could have been, and now it's just like
yeah,
dead at the bottom of the lake.
yeah, because they found the coelacanth in like the 30s, I think, and that was supposed to be extinct for like you know eons. And here you
Mm,
have this thing which could exist. You have this deep, dark lake that nobody can really fully explore. But
Mhm.
I don't know, because then my mind also goes, well, why can't they find it? But maybe it's dead now.
We'll have to get down there and find out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out on this show.
yeah.
I think as
Field
well
field
with
trip.
I think if a creature I mean, I know that there's been, like, episodes of, like, science fiction programs, like the X-Files and stuff, that, like, they show that these creature and this is a fictionalized broadcast, but they've shown that these creatures have just gotten like very good at adapting to their environments and
Mm.
remaining hidden for their own self-preservation.
Uh-huh.
Um, Loch Ness is interesting because it's not just that one singular location. Jamie and I actually talked about this. We recorded some offline stuff to
Mm.
have to go up over the break. And we talked about Loch Ness, and it's one of the big ones we feel
Mhm.
because it's not just situated to one region. And that I think that adds some credibility to it. Is that there's different regions of the world have their own version of the Loch Ness monster. Like
Yeah.
Canada has Ogopogo,
Mhm.
and the United States has Champy, the Lake Champlain monster.
Yeah.
And all of these are like a similar species, but like
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
people have had these different legends develop independently of each other without knowledge of the other having this
Ah.
creature. So I think when stuff like that does happen organically, it does lend some credibility that people are having similar experiences without direct communication with each other.
Or it just
Yeah, yeah.
shows that humans are all the same and we all make up and see the same imaginative things because we're like the same creatures, you know?
I was
Yeah.
And we
gonna
have the
Like,
same
slightly add
habits.
that yeah, that would explain why Bigfoot is in all regions of the world because it
like
would
the
make
Yeti?
sense that you would see a larger human and that would be a thing would be one of the first things that people
Mhm.
would tell their children if they explored the woods, seeing a
Yeah.
giant ape that was 10 feet tall. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all the same everywhere we go.
Yeah, and I also feel like all the stories, especially Bigfoot, it doesn't sound that crazy, like, if you're gonna make it up, why not be more creative with it? Um,
Mhm.
it's, like, not too far-fetched, you know what I mean? The only thing I find
Yeah.
hard to believe is, like, why couldn't they find it? Why can't they, like, definitely prove it if it's out there? But, I don't know, like you said, maybe they're just preserving their life by being, uh well, they're called cryptids, for a reason.
Right. They're
Yep.
very
Yeah.
adept at hiding. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit in a previous in a recorded episode, but I think there was something like Bigfoot, um, especially in that area of the United States. It's just it's a rainforest essentially, and I do think Bigfoot is one of the ones where I'm like, yeah, maybe because like that area, like going from like Northern California all the way up to Canada, is so densely forested that it would be
Mhm,
impossible to like it'd be impossible to track every like nook and cranny. And if there
Mhm.
were like small groups of these creatures hiding with only occasional sightings, I tend to think that that's possible. There's so many areas for them to
Mhm.
hide, and if they're good at hiding and good at avoiding people,
James, do you listen to or have you ever listened to the radio show called Coast to Coast?
no.
It was on it still is on AM radio. And,
Oh,
they have a lot of callers call in with, like, spooky things happening. Like, for example,
mhm,
this one woman called in one time and said that she lived with the Sasquatch. Like, she saw them, they spoke to her, she
it's a
learned
great
their
call.
language, and, this woman is just telling it like it really happened, and she truly believes it, and it's very engaging. It's really interesting to hear her speak. So some people out there have just I just wanted to let you know someone has discovered Sasquatch. It's out there and
Uh
it was
huh.
recorded on she told it on Coast to Coast. So if you want to check that out, then you can
okay.
learn more about it.
Coast to
Yeah.
Yeah.
coast to coast, James. If you're you're a horror movie guy. I think you're into
Mhm,
these type of stories. Coast to Coast was a hugely popular radio program from
mhm.
this. It's still on now with a different host, but the original host name was Art Bell, and
Okay.
Art Bell from like the 70s up until the 2015 or so. He's since sadly passed, but Art Bell, this is literally all he did. He had a radio program. I think at its peak, it had like 11 million listeners every
On
show
AM radio, which was
on
impressive.
AM radio. But this is what he would do. He would talk about like, conspiracies, mysteries, that sort of thing. And he would have these callers call in. And you can find some of the more famous ones on YouTube, and they're really interesting to listen to. They're really fun. Like if you
Okay.
want to like have like an evening of
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm gonna just listen to this like crazy episode of this guy talking about working at Area 51, where
Uh-huh.
like this guy's gonna be like, I'm a real vampire It's
Yeah.
really interesting to listen to, and it's really fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'd like Coast to Coast.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, I'd like to hear
Well,
about the vampire.
There's
Explain to
some
me
good
how you're a
ones.
vampire. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
The thing about
there
Art
well,
Bell that I well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there are people out there who say they are vampires, and I think it's just a person who just drinks blood and says so they can then say they're a vampire. Like they'll go and get blood and then like drink it, and I think their body doesn't want it, but they make themselves do it, and that is a situation that's I think happened where people say they're vampires, and
Yeah.
then some of those people who call in are probably just making themselves sick, drinking blood, so they can say they're a
Same with the
vampire because they're
werewolf,
like
I
super
guess.
goth.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
lycanthrope.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's the extent of the existence of a vampire.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I could talk for hours. Yeah, but I gotta get
Yeah.
back, right
Oh,
now.
good.
So,
Well,
but
someday we'll have you come back on. We can talk about more spooky stuff.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like there's so much more to talk about with those. It's great. So yeah, keep on searching, keep on
Thank you.
watching the skies, watching the woods, all that.
We'll find it. We'll find the truth soon enough. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, James. Angry Video
Cool.
Thank
Game
you,
Nerd,
James.
everyone. James
All
Rolfe,
right. Yep.
thank you for being here.
Cool. I'll
Thank
see
you.
you.
Talk
Thank
to you
you.
later.
Bye.
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 We're gonna cut to a 15-minute break, like I said, because otherwise I need to adjust your croppings. So chat can
Okay.
currently see me sleeping.
All right.
But yeah, it's best before the guest leaves to say that we're gonna cut to a 15-minute break, so that then
So we'll just tell
the
them.
cropping
We'll tell
doesn't
them right
break,
now.
obviously.
They
Yeah,
can,
we're
They
gonna.
can hear us.
Yeah, they can hear
Chat,
us.
we're just gonna adjust our cameras. Give us just a few minutes so we can get
Yep.
everything situated. Thank you again to James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd,
Thank you,
for
James.
being a guest on our marathon. We wanted to make sure we were trying to get more guests. It's surprisingly very difficult to get guests to agree to
Well, right
just
now, I think it's hard
it's the
because it's the
holidays.
Okay,
holidays.
right now we
Everyone that
cut
we've
to a break,
asked
and we can
is
talk
like
about this
busy.
afterwards, so I can adjust
Okay.
cameras.
Thank you,
All right, see you guys
AVGN,
soon.
for being. Yeah, we'll be here in a minute.
We'll be back.